Hey, kia ora whanau. It is Lauren here from Chasing Your Cheap Ball. Anyway guys, we are live at Kansai Airport. I'm actually in a lounge. One thing that I actually didn't realise is that my flight back to Cairns at least was actually had a lounge access included, so I'm not going to complain on that. So yeah. But anyway, where have I been? I think I've had about 3 weeks where I've kind of just dropped off the face of the earth with these live videos, so where have I been? Anyway, I arrived in Japan about 3 weeks ago, so just over 3 weeks, about 3 weeks ago, so just over 3 weeks ago, so I arrived on the Friday the 19th of October, and I've pretty much been all over the place. Now, last time I spoke to you guys, I was actually in Berlin. I was, where was I? I was in Berlin. Last time I had a bit of a live vid with you guys, I was in Berlin. So I was just about to head to Israel. And then that was actually a really short video because just about to head to Israel. And then that was actually a really short video because 3 guys in front of me decided they wanted to have their morning prayers. And I just left the entire area. I didn't want to interrupt them, so just left. And that was the last time I actually spoke to you guys doing a live video. So Israel was just absolutely unreal. I cannot, honestly, one thing that I will take away from that whole experience of Israel is that what the media portrays is completely different to what the country is like. It's an amazing country. It was completely safe. I never once feared for my safety. I had probably one of the best times in Israel. It was hands down. I seriously had one of the best times in Israel. Undoubtedly has to be one of my favourite countries I've visited as well because it was just such an unreal, amazing experience to be there. Also a very spiritual experience as well. So I completely blew me away to be in Israel. So yeah. So one thing I will actually mention is also I went over to the West Bank as well. So the West Bank is actually predominantly, how do I put it? It's Palestinian run, but it is Israeli. The parts of it are actually Israeli occupied. So it was very, very different. Obviously, once you actually get over to the other side, the checkpoint, you can just see how different it really is. Israel's quite clean. There's a lot of, there's not much rubbish on the roads. You definitely can see that it's very clean. There's not many stray animals on the roads or anything like that. As soon as we crossed the checkpoint, that's what we saw, was just rubbish, stray animals, lots of kids, just a lot of rundown places and everything like that. And it was a complete eye-opener just to see that. But everybody that was there were completely friendly, never had any issues. For me personally, I never had any issues either. So it completely blew me away to be there in the Palestinian occupied areas. And obviously went to Ramallah, and I also went to Hebron as well. And I think that just blew me away even more to understand just how much what the media portrays versus what the reality is basically. And obviously it was a completely different experience to what the media portrays, and the media always portrays Israel as a bad guy. It's definitely not the case. There's two sides to every story. There's obviously there's always two basically bad people in this. The media is one of them, and also the public opinion is also the other. And I can tell you from just basically sheer ignorance and also sheer miseducation and misinformation is that it was the complete opposite. So yeah. So I then, after Israel, basically had a really long travel day, and I swear, by the time I hopped on the plane to go to Tokyo, I was just dead. I seriously was dead. So what the flights I had to take was from, I had to fly from Tel Aviv to Amman in Jordan, which is about half an hour flight. Then I had a 3.5 hour stopover in Amman. Then I had to fly to Doha in Qatar, and I had a 10.5 hour stopover in Doha before I got on the plane to go to Tokyo. So I basically had been up for 24 hours before I'd even hopped on the plane to go to Tokyo. And I was just beat. I was seriously overtired. I was cranky. I just wanted to go to sleep. Basically, as soon as I got on the flight as soon as basically the plane took off, I fell asleep. They'll wake me up when they were serving food. And then as soon as I basically ate, I went back to sleep. I slept for maybe about 5-6 hours. So I had some sleep on the flight, but I wouldn't say it was great. I also just constantly kept on drifting off as well, so I was pretty beat by the end of it. By the time I arrived in Tokyo, it was about 6:30 at night, so I'd been in the air for about 10 hours, and I basically went straight to the capsule hotel that I stayed at Narita Airport and just went to sleep. I slept for 13 hours, so that's how beat I was. I was exhausted. Next morning, I then went out to Kumagai to go see a friend of mine play. He wasn't actually playing rugby. Poor bastard, he actually broke his ankle in Perth about 2 months ago. So he was doing some coaching stuff, just sort of, how do I put it in a way, just sort of motivating the team a little. It was good to catch up with him. Obviously, what travel I had actually done for him, it was pretty cool, pretty interesting, but we had a good laugh about it. And at the end, we only saw each other for a really short period of time, but it was enough just to say hello and catch up. And I was looking forward to it. The next day, that's when I got really sick. Now, I think there was a lot of things going on at that stage. As a lot of people may know, I do have an autoimmune disease, so I do have to take it easy most days. I can't be rush all the time. When I do come to explore and obviously film content for you guys, I have to really take it easy, because if I do too much in one day, I'll be completely out for the next week at least. So I have to really take it easy, but I'd say there was a couple of things going on at the time. One thing is that obviously the long travel day I had the day before was probably a huge thing. Secondly, also, I also want to mention that the stress of travelling, I'd also been drinking the night before at the game. There was a few other things that went on that kind of actually might have instigated my flare-up. One thing that I've taken out of it, I really have actually stopped drinking now because I just can't do it anymore. Hi to whoever's just jumped online, hi. I really just had to stop drinking because I can't do it anymore. And obviously one thing that I will take out of it is that one thing I will take out of it, obviously, is that obviously, as I said before, I've really got to take it easy. It made me wake up a little bit just to actually realise how much I'd actually done in the last 4 weeks and just what had been done. So anyway, I flew up to Sapporo, and that's where I basically just had to take it easy. Now, in a sad way, I have actually missed out on actually filming any content for Sapporo because I could not move. And I had to fast for 48 hours, just do a liquid fast, so that's all I could do. Was grateful for actually doing that because at the end of the day I was exhausted, I was sick, and obviously I really needed to take it easy and actually understand how to listen to my body better, so yeah. Secondly, by the time I flew to Fukuoka, I obviously still was not right, so obviously no content for Fukuoka. Also, the weather was really crap as well. And secondly, I lost my phone at Sapporo Airport. As much as I'm talking to you guys right now on my phone, there was a bit of a backstory to that one. I had somebody kindly get my phone. They found it at Sapporo Airport. I had it sent down to me at Nagasaki. I eventually got it back. It was a bit of a drama, but I eventually got it back. It cost me 2,000 yen to get it back to me, but I did not care about that. I just wanted my phone back because obviously I had all my content from Israel and all my other content from Berlin on my phone as well, so I just wanted to make sure that I had it uploaded to Google Drive before I actually started editing. So obviously, yeah, that was a huge thing. So Fukuoka, I really didn't do anything, and obviously, I just want to make sure that you guys understand that this trip to Japan's just been very slow. I've had to really take it easy, and I've done as much content as I can for for most places I've been to, but unfortunately my body just didn't want to listen. You know, obviously my body came first, and obviously my health came first, so I really had to take it easy. So eventually I got down to Nagasaki. A couple of days later I did some stuff down there for obviously the Atomic Bomb Memorial down there, and obviously I didn't do much else because that was the only reason I really wanted to go to Nagasaki. Obviously last year I went to Hiroshima, and I did all of that, but this year I obviously wanted to go to Nagasaki for the same reason. So I've done a bit of some content for you guys at Nagasaki. I then went up to Hiroshima. I spent 4 days just relaxing. I celebrated my birthday, having a really quiet birthday whilst I was in Hiroshima, and I do thank the guys at Santiago Guest House just for how lovely they were. I just really wanted to take a really good 4 days off, you know, 4 days break, get back into it. And then by the time I got to Tokyo, it was a bit full on. Went to Tokyo, went to go see the All Blacks play Japan in Tokyo, and that was an amazing, full on amazing experience. Hang on. I'll just show you guys. 300 yen, we got a memorial cup. So this was what we actually got in that's what we actually got in our little, you bought a beer, and for an extra 300 yen you got this as well. So I got one. Basically the reason why I got one was because I wanted to remember the game, because obviously it was a really special game. It's not every day that you always get to play Japan, so it was a really special game for me to head to Tokyo to go see it. And secondly, just the atmosphere was completely amazing. So I was just blown away just by how passionate the Japanese fans are, and obviously how amazing they are when it comes to rugby, and obviously any other sport basically. So I was really actually quite glad that I went to that game. I think one thing is that I will actually point out is that Japan is going, you know, the rest of the world is actually going to see Japan next year, obviously with the Rugby World Cup, and they're going to see exactly the same thing I saw. And I'm looking forward to it. Obviously I'm going to be at home in Australia watching on telly, but I'm going to be seriously blown away just by how good things, just how do I put it, how good the fans are when it comes to supporting the team. It doesn't matter what team, obviously, they're just really passionate about the game, and it doesn't matter if they really know the rules or not, they just really get into it, so that's what I really actually enjoyed. Secondly, the other thing that I really just actually did enjoy was just basically how everybody kind of got together. We all had beers. Didn't matter who you supported. We all just enjoyed ourselves. You know, the week before, a lot of people did actually ask me why didn't I go to Bledisloe Cup the week prior. The reason why is Australian fans. I personally just don't like them anymore. I've just come across way too many people who are just arrogant. It's the nicest way to put it. And the last Bledisloe Cup game I went to, I got spat on. And I want to go to a rugby game and enjoy myself, and obviously that kind of behaviour is just disgusting. So it's not my cup of tea, and I don't enjoy going to Bledisloe Cup games anymore. And saying to a couple of people recently just how bad it's really got, and why I just can't enjoy going to a Bledisloe Cup game anymore. You know, Bledisloe Cup games are really special. There's a lot of history behind it. There's a lot of rivalry behind it. But when fans just start turning on each other, it's just not nice. So it's one of the reasons why I didn't go. So anyway, left Tokyo the day after the Japan All Blacks game, and I went down to Osaka, and Osaka for me, it has a very special place in my heart now. Completely amazing. I stayed in Dotonbori. I didn't actually go anywhere else. I just wanted to go to Dotonbori for that reason. And for me, you guys are going to see this whole video about a link to why I think Japan in itself just has such a big link to ZTV. So if you guys don't know, U2 had a concert about 25 years ago called ZTV, and it was just a lot of information overload, just advertising everywhere, just different things, different sights, different smells, different atmosphere, different everything. And one thing that I will mention is that ZTV kind of really did blow me away with that. And obviously Osaka did that for me. Dotonbori did that for me, obviously. So I was completely blown away. So yeah, anyway, I then ended up going to Kyoto. And then Kyoto was when, obviously, as I was mentioning before, my body just, after a couple of days where I'd done a couple of really full-on days, body just kind of gave out. It's the second time this has happened now. Last year I broke my toe. This year I got sick. So anyway, a bit of a backstory to that one. I ran out of my medication, so I've actually got a specific medication that I take, and I also take Nurofen quite a bit. Nurofen's ibuprofen, so I had to take a bit of that whilst I was away, and just for aches and pains and headaches and just joint and muscle pain basically that I get. And anyway, I ran out, and I tell you right now that I'm just going to warn a lot of people, if you run out of your medication here in Japan, like if you need to just take a daily, some paracetamol or something like that, be warned. It's expensive, very expensive. We're looking at like nearly $15 a packet. Seriously, it was that expensive. I'm just lucky that I found what I needed. Now, the paracetamol side of things, I couldn't actually get specifically just paracetamol. I had to get stuff that had pseudoephedrine and codeine in it. So I'm just like, now, after I started taking, I was just like, I was seriously exhausted. So obviously, whilst you're on pseudoephedrine and codeine, you just don't want to move. And obviously, whilst I had to take it for the couple of days that I had to take it, Kyoto didn't actually happen, and that's the second time that's happened. Yeah, I'm not happy about that. So it does mean that I will have to come back sometime soon. Obviously, Japan is in the works for next year, but there's going to be a couple of things that I will actually say in a later vlog. Now, I'll do a proper later vlog about what's going to happen for next year. Obviously, Rugby World Cup's on next year, and it's going to be ridiculously expensive, so there's a reason why I'm not coming. And secondly, Japanese Top League is not happening from what I'm hearing. So, and I really want to just come to Japanese Top League. I don't really want to go to like an international test or anything like that. Just want to go to Japanese Top League because I just love watching the Japanese local games. It's just it's a really cool experience, here in Japan, and obviously I've been to a couple now, so I really do enjoy my time when I go to the top league games. Obviously Japan's in the work for next year, but we're just going to work on dates and see what's happening. Obviously it is something that will happen, but when, I don't know. I was saying to my mate Andy the other day is that maybe January 2020 I might come back, but we'll just have to see how things pan out with what's going on with Japanese Top League, and also just with other other things that are happening around the world as well. So I might need to go back to Berlin, I might need to go to Munich, I don't know. But we'll just try and work around that. And obviously I don't want to go when it's frightfully cold, so we'll just have to work around it. Now, obviously I've just left Kyoto and I headed to Kobe. So Kobe was my last stop. So I basically came from Kobe today to Kansai International Airport just outside of Osaka today. So I was in Kobe for like a couple of days. Now, one of the reasons why I wanted to catch up with my friend Andy. Now, for those people who don't know, Andy is a former Crusader. He also played, I think it's like 61 tests for the All Blacks. I think it might be actually less. I don't know. I can't remember. He's played quite a few tests for the All Blacks. But obviously he's just a legend from Christchurch. That's what I call him. I think one of my friends actually calls him the legend from Burnside, which is a suburb in Christchurch. But Andy's just one of those people. He's really just generous. He's lovely. Every time you come to Kobe, he hooks you up with everything, and he just helps you out so much. And he has done that this time in my visit here in Kobe. And on the Friday, so Friday just gone, he told me what time they were training, and he said, just pop on down, we'll be all there. You're most welcome to come down. It's a public session. So here in Japan, they're a little bit more relaxed about going down to watch people train, whereas here in Australia and New Zealand, it's a lot of closed sessions. You can only be pretty much media to do that, so it can be a bit difficult if you're just a fan. But anyway, yeah, he said, oh yeah, come on down, we'll be here. Now, I went down, and I was actually hoping to see Dan Carter, who is actually one of my all-time favourite players. And I haven't seen Dan in like almost 4 years. I think last time I saw him was at the end of September in 2015. So it was during the Rugby World Cup, and he was at a promo in London. I saw him, and that was the last time I saw him before he headed off to France. He was in France for 3 years playing for a team called Racing Metro, and then he left and came to Kobe. So, and I was all excited, and it's probably one of the reasons why I ended up actually coming back to Kobe, coming back to Japan was to see him play, because it was a bit of a bucket list thing for me. So I headed to Kobe, and I headed to his training session. There he was, and Andy had told him that I was coming. And anyway, I was talking to Andy for quite a while then, whilst Dan was practicing his kicking, because Dan is very particular on his routine. He obviously needs to practice stuff, and he will spend a good long time practicing, and that's just Dan. And you can see the reason why he is the best player in the world, because of that reason. So, and anyway, Andy had finished training like a long hour before this, and then Dan had then finished, and we caught up, and had a few laughs and free hugs and photos. So I'm really, really happy about that, and really, really happy that I caught up with him. I am also very grateful because a bucket list thing for me to do was to actually see him play before he retired. So Dan is now almost 37. So I was just hoping that I would be able to see him before he retired. I was hoping to actually see him play in France, but obviously that didn't happen. I've been looking around Japan for the last couple of years, but off and on for the last couple of years. So I'm very, very grateful for the experience that I've actually had here in Japan. Last few trips I've been here, but particularly this trip. So see Dan again, see Andy, and also on Sunday at the game. That game was amazing. Dan scored 4 tries, and he kicked like 11 conversions. Andy scored 3 tries. Now Dan gets man of the match, but it was just an amazing game to watch. They actually beat this team 99-17. At halftime, they were like 68-0 up. So I was just like, holy shit. So yeah, I was very, very happy with the result, and I was very grateful to actually be in Kobe. One thing I will actually mention is that Andy actually helped me with tickets and everything like that. So I was very, very grateful for his help. I was very grateful for everything that he's done whilst I was visiting Kobe, because honestly, when it comes to obviously meeting players or even coming to a rugby team or going to a game, it's very hard because I don't speak a lot of Japanese, and it's very difficult for me to actually come to Japan to come watch the rugby. So when I went and saw them play against Panasonic, when I went and saw the game, the first game when I first arrived here, that was very difficult for me because I don't speak a lot of Japanese, and I had to do a lot of things via Google Translate to get what I needed, which is obviously still not the right way to do it, because I would like to actually say please 1 ticket or in this section. So that's all I would like to do, but eventually I got what I wanted. But in saying that, when I come to the Kobe games, Andy always hooks me up with tickets, and I'm very grateful for the experience because he always gives me tickets, and this time around he obviously gave me the time for when they trained as well, so it was really, really good. So yeah, pretty much that's it. That's what I've been doing here in Japan, and obviously I'm going to admit I'm pretty disappointed about the fact that I did get quite sick. Very frustrating, obviously, but I'm very frustrated, but obviously the way it's going to be the way it is, and obviously I'm definitely going to have to come back. So as I mentioned before, I'm looking at maybe about January, February 2020. It's probably going to have to be around about before the Super Rugby season starts, so then I can actually go. But just have to see how things work out. So yeah. Anyway, I've been online for almost half an hour, guys. So and I've obviously just been talking about what's going on, my trip and everything like that. Yeah, I really don't have much else to say. Obviously, I'm heading back to Cairns tonight, overnight flight, and then I'm heading to, then I fly to Brisbane at lunchtime tomorrow, so I've got like a 5-hour stopover in Cairns tomorrow morning, which I'm not looking forward to because Cairns is going to be super humid, so yeah, I'm not really looking forward to that. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to just check the times when I actually have to be at the gate, because it'll be very close to actually me having to board very soon, and then head back home. Anyway, guys, I do thank everybody for sticking by me through my 6-week adventure. I'm very disappointed I have to go home tonight. Obviously, the last couple of days have really made my holiday. I'm going to honestly say that my mental health hasn't been too great with me being sick. I was even actually thinking about coming home early. One thing that I will mention is that about 2 weeks ago I actually nearly did book flights to come home early because I didn't think I was going to make the next couple of weeks. So to make my holiday on Friday was pretty much the reason why I continued going with my holiday, as in that was the reason why I still kept on going. So yeah, obviously now I don't really want to leave, but I have to go. But I definitely am looking forward to doing something similar next year. Obviously where and when is going to be a different story. I am looking at maybe going back to Israel, but we'll just have to see how things go. And obviously I have to work out with my work what's going to happen. And then obviously next year, with the Rugby World Cup on, I definitely won't be coming to Japan for the Rugby World Cup, but I'll definitely be looking forward to going to coming back to Japan maybe after the Rugby World Cup, so about January 2020 is when I'm actually looking at it, but maybe a little bit earlier, just depending on timing and that. Alright guys, have a great day wherever you are around the world. I obviously haven't got anything else to say. I feel really bad now, really bad. Yeah, but anyway, looking forward to flying home. I want to see my mum. Obviously, my sister is due to have a baby in a couple of weeks, so from what I hear, she might be pulling independent maybe in the next week or two. So we got a new member of her family in our house coming very shortly. Obviously, so I want to see her and help out the family as much as I can whilst I can. And obviously, I've got to go back to work and go back to my studies. So yeah, obviously, yeah. All right, guys. Let's cut it here, and I'll see you guys in my vlog. So my next vlog will be out Thursday. Now I do apologise for the reason why those vlogs haven't actually been coming out. I have actually had a few issues with just trying to actually get them scheduled. So they will be definitely out Thursday, 11 p.m. Brisbane time. So what I'm going to do, the reason why I've had a few issues with scheduling those vlogs, that was one thing I wanted to mention, but secondly I wanted to put it in a little bit of an excerpt, because obviously I mentioned about Etihad. I wanted to do a vlog before I actually got into Berlin, but I've decided to scrap that for the moment and do that all at the end of my trip, so you guys can actually see what happened right at the end of my trip. So yeah, I will do all of that. So next vlogs that are going to come out are from Berlin. So that will be next week, and then I'll have Israel and Japan weeks following after that. and then I'll have a couple of reviews for you guys, because I've got a eye mask which I don't have here. I actually lost it, but I need to get a new one. But that bloody eye mask was the best thing I've ever had. I had the best night's sleep whilst I was actually wearing it. Seriously, I'm going to highly recommend it, but as soon as I get the new one, I will definitely show you. And also this pillow, which I'll do a review on that one as well, because I'm a bit of a mixed, still in a mixed bag. I'm going to use it tonight and just see how I go. It's nice and hard, that's what I like about it, but it's pretty much only good for lying down, I seem to find. But yeah, just have to see how I go, work it tonight and see how I go. But yeah, alright guys, yeah. Alright guys, I will speak to you guys in another vlog. Thursday night is when my next vlogs are coming out from Berlin. And yeah, alright guys, bye.